This is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks, where we review movies. Love them or hate them, someone's got to do it. So enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm April.
And this is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
Anything else that gets in the mix.
So, April, how's it going?
Oh, just relaxing.
Relaxing.
Yeah, taking it easy.
That's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the last time I relaxed and took it easy.
Honestly, neither can I. It's been such a long time.
Yeah. I see you're sporting a Kirkland shirt.
Of course, Oh my gosh. So, Kirkland is the store brand of Costco.
Yeah.
And my cousin has a new boyfriend. And he has a Costco membership. And she finally told me, she's like, I think I get it. I think I get it. Because when we were in Mexico, we saw there was a Costco. And I was like, we have to go to Costco. And I can't remember if we went the time that we discovered it or if we went the next time.
Yeah.
But for sure, we went to Costco. I was like, we have to go to Costco. We have to go to Costco. And of course she went with me, but she didn't get it. And now she does.
Now she understands.
Mm-hmm.
She likes bargain shopping.
It's a vibe. You just have to understand it. What is it? The other day, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, we went to Costco and my dad went and he had the 2 kids or 3. No, there were at least 2 of them. I don't know. Or it was the day of the chair. I honestly don't even remember now.
That was a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
I don't remember. But the kids were with us. And so then we shopped. We ordered a pizza. We were eating it. And then I was like, okay, kids, what do y'all like better? Sam's or Costco? I was like, oh, Costco.
Huh.
Because they go to Sam's.
I have to say I'm a Sam's Club girly, but we have a Sam's Club card, so that's why I go to Sam's.
I have a Sam's Club card. I actually just canceled it. It's going to cancel out like on the 12th or 15th or something.
But isn't it connected to your grandma?
Well, she never uses it.
Okay.
I checked the account online and I don't see any activity.
Huh.
She's had it for a year.
Yeah.
So.
I go there and get gas.
Oh, see, I go to Costco because I guess Sam's is technically closer to me, but I don't go that way.
Yeah.
Whereas I very easily am in the Costco area. So. Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. So we chose
This week.
a different movie this week. One that you never heard of.
That is correct.
I had seen previews for it.
I have not.
I don't believe it was in the theaters.
I doubt
it. It was new today on Peacock. Ooh. It's called Lisa Frankenstein.
Yes, it was not at all what I was expecting. So when you first started telling me about it, I didn't catch the Stein. So I was like, oh, Lisa Frank, cool, colorful, And then you said it again. I was like, oh, maybe like the Bride of Frankenstein, maybe the Daughter of Frankenstein, And then you showed us the little preview and it's like, the Bride of Frankenstein? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, no Frankensteins were hurt or mentioned in this movie. Mm-hmm. Basically, we have a girl. It's set in the 80s, which was a whole vibe.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that part.
Loved it.
It's set in the 80s, and her mom got murdered in front of her face. And her dad, 2 years later, has met this new woman. They move where they live. They're married, and she has no friends and has befriended a statue of a dead person in a graveyard. And she's like just very much of a loner. She has a stepsister who's very popular. And when she tells her that she has found this statue in this graveyard and that She just feels like dead people shouldn't be forgotten. And she like gives the statue her mother's cross. And one night a storm comes in and somehow he comes to life. And it's Cole Sprouse.
Yes. I mean, you don't even see it's him till like the
Chapter
epilogue.
3.
Not even then. Like it's like past the end.
Yeah. And so basically he's like a zombie and he's missing all these parts. And so they have to
never explain how he lost his parts.
Yeah, he's missing a hand, an ear, a tongue, and
very random.
And a little something else. And so they have to go he keeps murdering people, so she will sew on the parts to him. And then they use the tanning booth that her stepsister won at a beauty pageant to ignite a charge and like bring him back to life, basically. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is.
One thing that stuck out to me like very early, obviously the soundtrack, they had good songs. But the first thing we see is like a crimper and she's using it to crimp her hair. And I was like, oh my God, I missed a crimper.
Yes, I've used a crimper officially twice in my life.
That's it?
Yeah.
I used to use it all the time.
We didn't own one.
Oh.
So I used one when I was a kid. I was at somebody's house. And I remember I had my hair in ponytail. So they really only crimped the ponytail.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Wasn't over the top. You know, fine. And the second time, it was at a sleepover at a friend's house. And she crimped all of my hair.
Wow. That would have taken forever.
Of course, then it was the 90s. So then it was like, oh, this is out of style. Like, oh my God. Like, thank goodness this is a sleepover, you know? And now I have a waiver and you can, change the settings.
Yeah.
So the smallest, tightest one basically gives you a crimped style without being crimped. It's just waves, but tight waves.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I had one that you could do different pieces, so you can like change out the plates.
Yeah, I remember those.
And then we also had one that was just a crimper. And I believe that was like the pink one, and it was like, the
very crimp, the classic crimp.
And my hair would get so big. So big. I remember one time I crimped it for school for picture day, which is
I want to see that. You don't experiment.
Okay, so you can't see it.
Oh.
So something happened and the camera like broke or the film was bad. I don't remember.
Oh, no picture that year?
No, we had to retake it. So, yeah. Yeah, no one got to see that rats. I wore a silk shirt. And my hair was crimped.
Yeah, and you didn't want to let's recreate the look. Yeah.
I think I wore the same outfit, but my hair was different the second time. Yeah. Yeah, not a good choice to crimp it. It never looked as good. Like, if you just crimp pieces, it looks a lot better than when you crimp the whole thing.
I think that's why I liked my little ponytail, because it wasn't all of it.
And then a few moments later, they mentioned jelly shoes, and we all got very excited.
Yes.
I remember those came back when I was in high school. I think I was like a junior or senior, and we were selling them at the store that I worked at, and I was like, hell yeah. But the problem is that it's fine until your foot gets wet, like it gets sweaty, and then you're like slipping and sliding in your shoe. Never fun. That's the only bad part about jelly shoes.
I remember what was it? The kids' shoes, the KEDs.
Oh, Keds?
Keds, yeah. I remember my shoe size was the same size I was in the grade. So in 5th grade, I wore a size 5. 6th grade, I wore a size 6. In 7th grade, I wore a size 7. And then my foot stopped growing. So it's grown since then.
I was going to say, you bitch.
Yeah,
Size
no, but
7 feet.
it stayed as 7 for several years. And then it grew again.
Yeah,
So.
no, I have big feet. I don't have dainty feet.
They were once dainty, no longer.
Which is funny because I have very tiny toes. So I have a big foot with tiny toes. A part of me at one point when the inflation was going crazy, I was like, I should just get a what are those called? Not a MySpace. I keep wanting to say that.
A Facebook?
No.
Uggs?
No. I was gonna sell my feet photos.
Only fans only.
Yeah, only fans.
Yes.
I was like, I should do that. I'm sure there's someone that likes tiny toes.
I thought about getting a fans only account, but I wasn't going to do anything sexual. I was just going to see how much I could get paid just to have like how much would people pay to see behind the wall? And then it's just me and be like, hey, what's up, guys? What's going on?
How's it going?
How's it hanging? And because I would make it first of all, I've never been on the website, so I really don't know how it works,
Yeah.
but I would think you have a landing page, or maybe you have a description of what your page is, and then I would just basically be like, what is the word? Clickbaiting them.
Oh yeah.
And then once they pay to get in, be like, surprise, it's just me.
Just me.
Yeah, but I never got past the idea to do research to see how it works.
Yeah, I've never been on OnlyFans either.
What if they block us for clickbaiting? Because I'm sure if we thought of this, or if I thought of this, other people thought of that.
Yeah.
And then they would be rude or something. Maybe we'll get blocked. Be like, you can't do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I would be mad. Be like, listen, I paid for this shit and you lied to me.
I just thought, I'm a photographer. I could take pictures of my feet. I wonder if I could, I could scrunch them between grapes or something. Hey, desperate times call for desperate measures.
I mean, okay. At least you're giving them what they're asking for. I guess that's better than my deceit.
Yeah, it's my defeat. Well, let's see here.
Yeah.
So anything in this movie stand out to you?
Okay, so when we first saw the trailer, I was like, you know what? I really like the premise of this. I'm not really feeling the whole Frankenstein. You could have had this movie without, because at first, with the name Frankenstein, you're thinking, Frankenstein. Whereas really, this has nothing to do with Frankenstein. First of all, the dude's last name was Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So A, that's how that plays into this. And B, yeah, you are kind of stealing parts to put him back together, but you didn't completely build him from the ground up. So it has elements of the Frankenstein lore, but don't expect that to be what this movie is. So from the premise, I was like, I really like the idea of murdering, she turns darker, she turns goth. I was like, I really like that story angle. And then when we see the movie starts, I see Cole's name. And I was like, oh, yes. I love him. Dibs, I'm Lisa. And he's basically a zombie, a ghoul for the whole movie.
Yeah.
So it didn't even matter that I called dibs on him, because he's not he's not him until the post end.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it was some of his finest acting.
Dude, dude. Like he was dragging his foot. He was walking all janky. He was honestly, unless they paid him a buttload of money, it could have done without him. Yeah. Like if I was a teenage girl and I was like, oh my God, Cole's going to be in this movie. I need to see it because of him. I would have been so disappointed. Like, right? Well, I wouldn't have because I would have been in love. But like, I would have been disappointed because I'm like there's not enough of him in this movie because he's so heavy in makeup.
Yeah.
So,
well, it kind of reminds me of there's a show that my sister and I were watching, or we watched the very first episode, and it showed like every single trailer showed Ryan Phillippe was in this show, and we're like, oh hell yeah, we love him. Mm-hmm. Watch the first show and he dies. Very first episode, and we're like, what the fuck?
That reminds me of like I was deep in Breaking Bad. I was there.
Don't be very careful what you say.
I'm not going to talk about the actual show.
Okay,
but I loved Breaking Bad. I was knee deep in it. So when the show either is ending or coming to an end, people know that it ended.
No. I have not seen the last like
it
4 episodes.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
I just don't want you to ruin it.
I'm not talking about the show. I'm talking about the actor.
Stop yelling at me.
But you're not even letting me get to my point.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Get to your point.
Basically, the actor was in Godzilla and they killed him, and I was disappointed.
Oh.
The end.
Why didn't you just say the person's name?
Because he was on a high because of Breaking Bad. So the next thing he did was Godzilla. Yeah. So everybody was super hyped about that. And then they killed him in Godzilla. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah.
I hate that. So her sister asked her if she likes anybody at school. And she kind of said some kid in a wheelchair. Mm-hmm. I guess just to like not tell her who she really liked. Mm-hmm. But turns out she likes the bad boy at school.
Isn't he on like the newspaper team or news team?
Yeah, he's not really a bad boy, but he dresses like the prototypical like 80s bad boy. He kind of gave me River Phoenix vibes. His hair was, parted in the middle, but it was long, and he wore a leather jacket. That's how you know he's a bad boy, when they wear a leather jacket. That's what that's supposed to mean. Doesn't mean it's true, but that's what it's supposed to mean. And then we find out that his sister, or her sister, is, I guess, sleeping with him. Or
yeah.
Though it did seem like he liked her. So I don't know how that happened, but
I think she was just, first of all, she's transfer. So she's new, she's different. He's just feeling her out.
Yeah.
So in this, because she's new and she's different, she's interesting.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go so far as to say that he like tricked her.
Yeah.
Because he didn't overly flirt with her or anything. It was just genuine friendship and curiosity.
Yeah.
That she certainly, hoped for more.
Yeah.
So.
But then she finds them sleeping in bed together, and Cole's monster came in the room, and I just had the feeling, I knew what was going to happen. He moved the sheets back and he cut off his penis.
Yeah.
Because that was the missing piece to the monster puzzle.
So up until this point, he had killed the stepmom and cut off her ear.
Yeah.
And then they killed Mr. Wannabe Rapey guy.
Yeah.
And chopped off his hand. And it wasn't until, like, obviously I knew for sure, I knew he was missing his hand because that was the obvious thing. With the ear, because of his hair and all the grime and dirt he had in him, I didn't actually notice that he was missing an ear. But when he lost the hand, that's when I realized, I was like, well, how the hell did he lose his ear and his hand?
Yeah.
You know? And then when he chopped off, you know, the boy's main part, like, I was like, I don't because you kept saying, you know, he's going to cut off a tongue. He needs a tongue because he needs to talk. And I was like, well, how did he lose a tongue? You know, and I'm thinking, you know, I think his headstone said like 1837.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the hell was going on in 1837? Nothing, because the War of 1805 was done, and then we didn't have then we had the Civil War, which was in 66. Was that the Mexican American War? But I thought that happened in like 45.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, what happened in 37? So like, I was just, you know, pirates. Like a pirate would cut off your tongue.
Leprosy?
Cut off your like I could see several crimes, you know, like, oh, you stole something, cut off the hand. Oh, you lied, cut off the tongue.
Yeah.
You know, like I could see different types of crimes, but I can't see one thing that could explain all of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And what's funny is, so they killed this one kid, Dan, I think his name's Dan, because when they went to a party, someone had spiked her drink, and then he was taking her to a bedroom
to sit down. Like we knew where that was going.
And she throws up in this waste can, and I turned to my sister. I said, oh my God, we had that exact same one. And she goes, yeah, and I'm pretty sure we all threw up in it. So funny that they had that. And then all of a sudden she looks down and his hand is on her breast.
He's like, can you feel that?
Yeah.
Or something.
And then he took her hand and put her hand on his crotch. And he goes, now you have to finish what you start. And then she like leaves the room.
And what I'm thinking, it's like, first of all, she's out of her mind.
Yeah.
So what if she's wearing a padded bra? She may have not even felt him feeling her up. And he's wearing jeans, so she probably didn't really feel him up.
Yeah.
You know, so like for, what is that? First base, because it's touching outside of the clothes. It's like quite tame.
Yeah.
Like obviously she got out of there before anything could become something. But I was just like, whatever, like it would not have fazed me.
Well, but I liked that they took his hand because that's what he tried to.
Because he would have created a greater sin or something of that effect, I believe she said.
Oh my goodness.
You can do it. You can unlock your phone.
I did. I got it. And then the next scene, her dad and sister are sitting on the couch. And they're eating something, and I was like, that looks like grape nuts. And then I don't remember what you said.
I said granola.
Yeah.
But I meant grape nuts.
Yeah, and then the mom said something about eating grape nuts. And I was like, April. And we both love grape nuts.
Yes.
And I was like, what an 80s cereal.
I love making little parfaits.
I love grape nuts, even though they hurt my teeth.
Love them. What I love about them is that like cereal goes soggy. Like, I love cornflakes, but they get soggy so fast.
That's why I don't eat cornflakes. I eat
Frosted
honey bunches
Flakes?
of oats because they last a little longer.
I don't actually like the honey bunches of oats.
Oh. I like the pecan one, the cinnamon
The
pecan.
almond.
I don't like the almond.
I don't either.
I like the cinnamon pecan.
No.
Or the Kellogg's one, that's the cinnamon pecan.
No, I don't like it.
Oh, you're weird.
Now I want cereal.
I actually have honey bunches or honey nut Cheerios and cinnamon life at home that I've been eating.
I like Life. I like Chex.
Me too. So rudely, they order pizza.
Oh,
Now,
I know.
they ordered one pizza for 4 people and had one slice left and was like, oh, yeah, I guess we have a slice left. And then knowing she's a vegetarian, they got a meat lovers, like an extra meat lovers.
Like, it had a mountain of meatballs on there.
Yeah. And I was just like, first of all, there's one piece left. What was she supposed to have? And secondly, it's something that she would never be able to eat, which is just rude.
One nice difference in this movie from your typical blended families is that it was the stepsister that really wanted, she's probably, well, they were both only children.
Yeah.
But she was the only child that always wanted siblings.
Yeah.
You know, that wanted this family and stuff.
She's basically the mom trying to keep them all together.
Yep. And the mom just hates her.
Yeah,
now,
she's like the stepsister that you would normally see in a movie.
Now, it's hard to say if she's always hated her from day one.
Yeah.
Or she just, as she got to know her more, just grew to dislike her.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know, she is going through stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
As she should be.
And I can see the mother, the stepmother, being the type of person that just doesn't give you time or space for you to work through your thing.
Yeah.
You know, she's probably like, because I think at one point she said, I invite you into my house and try to build a perfect family. You know, why can't you just accept this and move on type situation? So I can see like she just wanted her to forget her past.
Yeah.
You know, and just move forward into this future. So,
and then we have, the zombie when he like comes through the window, destroys all the stepmom's figurines and stuff, and so the stepmom obviously is pissed at her.
Let's give credit where it's due. She's the one who grabbed the precious moments.
She did, yeah,
and threw them at him, and I knew she shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But those neighbors, she even ran outside yelling for help.
Yeah, they barely looked. They didn't even look, really.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But what I think is really funny is that whatever came out of him was always like super smelly and gross. So he cries 2 different times and she's like, are you crying? God, it smells awful. It smells like an outdoor porta potty.
Oh, yeah, she did say that.
And she is like, just every time he cries. And I thought that was a funny running gag. Because first he throws up on her. And so she's just like,
yeah. And I also feel like in the end, like towards the end, they do it. Yeah. They do it too soon because like a centipede or something falls on her.
Yeah.
And so her solution is, I'll be on top.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
You know?
Which reminds me, you see their intimacy through a little animation of like a rocket shooting up into the moon. And that's supposed to be like, poof, it's done. So they use the same animation in the beginning, which I really liked.
Me too.
It looked very Victorian type, like bride corpse type vibes. And I liked that. I liked it.
Yeah, this movie is a lot of like Heather's meets Edward Scissorhands. Just very
like it's gonna remind you of so many things. Like this person definitely had a vision of like, what if I put all of these movies together?
Yeah.
And they did.
And the girl, when she's dressed up, there's a scene where she's having like a dream and she's all dressed up very Victorian like. She looks like Helen Bonham Carter. Is that who it is?
Yeah.
That's
Harry
who I was
Potter.
No, dang it. I always grab the wrong person.
Oh.
It's the other one who I always think is Helen Bonham Carter.
Oh.
It's
I don't know.
She's from Les Mis.
That is her.
Oh, is that her? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was in that.
Okay. Because there's two ladies that look alike, and I always get them confused. And I know we talked about it before. But.
She was in We Don't Talk About Fight Club. She's in it.
Oh, she's in that?
Yeah, she's in Don't Talk About Fight Club. She's plays Princess Margaret Rose in The Crown. She's in Harry Potter. She's Bellatrix. She plays the little orphan chick's, surrogate mother or whatever in Les Mis. What else has she done?
She did Sweeney Todd.
Oh yeah, she did do that. Wasn't she the Queen of Hearts in one of the Alice in Wonderland movies? She was. Big old head, very heart-shaped lips.
Yes, Through the Looking Glass.
Okay, yeah.
She's been in a lot of stuff.
She sure has.
But yeah, I always think of her in Sweeney Todd. That's like the thing that jumps out to me. But she looks just like her when she's all made up. And I was like, oh my God. So much like her. Let's see. Oh, so she's having him try on different outfits in her closet. And at one point he comes out in this pink robe. He was rocking that pink robe.
My whole thing is I thought he was picking his clothes. So I'm like, she loved that outfit and then he didn't like the outfit. So I was like, bitch, you're the person who picked that outfit. Because she's literally shoving him in the closet. And then he opens the door and presents an outfit. And she's just like, no, I don't like it.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it. And then she hands him an outfit that was not in the closet. And it's like, where did that outfit come from?
Right.
It would have just made more sense if it looked like she pushed him out the way and just pulled something off the hangers. Be like, here, put this on,
Yeah, it was weird, but I also still liked it. And when I saw the pink robe, it reminded me of Blanche Devereaux from Golden Girls. Like that's just
it is very 80s. Yeah.
And it was like real flowing, had long sleeves, and he was killing that pink robe. But then he takes it off and then she's wearing it. And I thought, ew, because you still think he smells.
Yeah.
So that's weird. Even though he took a shower right before. But he's been dead for a really long time.
Problems that I had with this film. I know we're not there, but I was thinking about the shower and it's like, instructions on how to use the shower. At one point, he steals a car. Now, mind you, think about the first time you drove a car.
Yeah.
Even if you did not read the book or go to a class, you have spent at this point a lifetime watching your parents drive.
Yeah.
You know the mechanic. You know enough to where you could start a car and get it going.
Yeah.
You understand park, drive, neutral, or you could figure it out just by, doing stuff. But this dude took the club off of a wheel.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine? First of all, have you had a club? I have had a club. They don't have a regular key.
Yeah.
They had a different type of looking key. Okay. He got the club off and he was able to drive. Mind you, going very slow.
Yeah.
But you would stick the key. I think the easiest part would have been sticking the key in the ignition and turning it.
Yeah.
But imagine if it was an old car and you had to crank it up, Well,
also, it's the 80s. What are the odds that the car is automatic?
Oh my gosh.
It could have very well been a manual.
Yeah. Like, imagine figuring that out.
Yeah.
If you've never seen it done.
Yeah.
Like it takes, you don't even get into drive until you hit like the third one, right? Like, I don't believe he would have been able to drive.
No.
You know, I could see a person who has, a modern person who has never driven being able to drive.
Yeah.
You know, because you understand the mechanics of it. But like, no. Like, imagine you trying to fly a plane. Those are too many buttons, too many things going on.
Yeah.
Honestly, you would do better than this dude did, you know? I'm sure the plane has at least a park button and a brake button.
Right.
You understand a pool and like, you wouldn't get off the ground, but like, you'd still do, you could taxi better than this dude could.
One thing is, so he kills the stepmom with a sewing machine, just knocks her in the head with it. And the stepdaughter like tries to call her mom and she can't get through, and they say that she never checked in. And so they call all these places and they end up calling the police, and they're describing her. And at one point she goes, yes, she is a bitch. I was
yeah. It came right
so
after.
Funny.
It came right after. She's like, and she was wearing Elizabeth Taylor's white diamonds.
She's like, yes, she is a bitch.
Oh.
I was like, that is perfect. Because the way she's describing her is making her sound like a horrible person.
Yep.
And so we find out that the zombie can play the piano. And at one point they do a duet of I Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore. And it was pretty epic. She starts dancing while he's playing. It's pretty fun.
Oh, it's after he got his hand.
Yes, yeah. And then I stopped taking notes. And I was just watching the movie and enjoying what I was watching. This is like the third movie we've watched where it's been set in like the 80s or the 90s. And I've been enjoying all of them.
Yeah, it's like the best of the 80s.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember the 80s like that.
No.
Well, first of all, we were too young, you know?
Yeah.
So honestly, what we experienced visually was, you know, a romanticized fake reality. Because what we experienced as children was, you know, I had a great childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess they just don't make movies about kids in the 80s other than what E.T., but that movie was so serious.
Yeah.
What we need to do is make a movie about kids in the 80s.
Well, they have some, but it's mostly like boy movies. You know, Stand By Me and...
But those are serious
yeah, they're
movies.
serious.
I saw a TikTok where this dude was talking about, you want to talk about culture clash. He said how he was part of a youth group and they had spent all day going in 2 trucks picking up, because they're going to have a yard sale, going to the different people's houses and picking up their shit that they were donating for the yard sale. And they had so much crap that they had the boys sleeping outside in tents guarding the stuff and the girls sleeping in the living room. And then I guess the homeowner had come home after picking up some jet lag exchange students that were like from Japan and told them, make them feel included. And he was like, can you imagine these 2 kids coming to America for the first time and then being told they have to sleep outside amongst the junk? And then the kids decided, you know, let's play hide and seek in the dark. And I'm like, oh my God, I think I've done that before, you know? And then they had 2 like power wheels, you know? And so then they started racing and, oh no. The first time the cops showed up, they were just playing hide and seek and they were like, shh, don't say anything. And so the cops left. And then later they decided to race, little monster trucks down the street. So, of course, they're not going very fast. And so the two little Japanese kids are on the little Power Wheels when the cops show up. And because the first time they didn't reveal themselves when the cops showed up, they were like, fuck it, we're not stopping. And so then they ended up going around the block, and a second cop car had to cut them off. And they put the kids in the back of the seat, and then they drove back to the main house, where all the ruckus started. And then the cops were like, what's going on out here, And they're like, oh, we're having a rummage sale. And they're like, how much for that Barbie dream house? And they're like, 20. And they're like, I'll give you 10. And they were like, we're kids. What are we supposed to say? So we're like, okay. So then they let out the two Japanese kids and they put the Barbie dream house in the car. And they're like, can you imagine what these kids think? They're like, we outran the cops. They traded our freedom for a Barbie dream house. And the comments are just like, oh my God, I hope they see this because I want to hear their version of it.
Right.
And then another person's like, dude, I want to hear the cops version because they showed up twice.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I remember playing hide and seek at nighttime. And then another person's like, dude, we used to play in the last house with the big giant mailbox. That mailbox was base. And we were playing in everybody's yard. And I was like, I remember that.
Yes.
I remember playing in like neighbors' yards.
Yeah.
Like nobody said anything. Like
Nope.
you can't do that shit now.
That people will be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I remember one time hiding in like my neighbor's bushes, and she lived in a house that was kind of lower.
Yeah.
So that I don't know how her house was set up because I'd never been inside, obviously. But I remember hiding in her bushes and looking inside her window. Her window was open, but the screen was on.
Yeah.
And she was lower than me. So maybe it was like half basement, half first floor. I don't know. But she was lower than me. And she was sitting close enough to where she could see me with the sunlight hiding in her bushes.
Yeah.
If she wanted to, but she wasn't looking in my direction. She was just watching TV. So like, obviously she knew somebody was there. Like I was within her eyesight.
Yeah.
And like, I continued hiding, and that's the only memory I have. I don't know what happened.
We used to play hide and go seek in the dark all the time. Flashlight tag, all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Kids these days, they don't even know what any of that stuff is, I'm sure.
I remember when the Blair Witch came out, we tried to make our own Blair Witch, but we didn't have a video camera, but we had a little tape recorder. So I remember it was me, June, and Ironda, and we were just running in the yard and like doing voice acting, basically. And we did some pretty good voice acting.
I remember when we would have people over before they got there, we would put a rocking chair in the bathtub so we could do the, Mary, Mother Mary or whatever. I don't know. Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to do the Psycho.
No, it was Bloody Mary. And then one of you would push the rocking chair. And so then when we turn on the light, the rocking chair would be moving. And that was to show that she was there. Spoiler alert. Someone pushed that rocking chair.
I didn't know that was part of the lore. First of all, we had a big rocking chair, like the fancy type of rocking chair.
No, we didn't.
So our rocking chair would not have fit in the bathtub.
Yeah, no, we had a small one.
Yeah, no. We had a nice rocking chair. It was like slider chair, I guess you would
April,
call
God,
it.
you had more money. Jesus.
Not really. I don't even know how we got that.
Probably at a rummage sale.
Probably, but like, I love that chair.
So is there anything else about this movie that stands out?
Honestly, I mean, Cole, I hope they paid him good money, because all that makeup, if they didn't pay him, he was too high of an actor
Yeah.
to not have made bank for the amount of makeup he was required to wear.
Yeah.
So,
what would you rate this movie?
I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
I could really only rewatch it for the fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So for the fashion, I would give it 6 out of 10. I would wear every outfit Lisa wore, except for her pajamas, like her day wear. I would wear every day wear she wore.
Yeah, I have to agree. I thought it was a really fun movie, very nostalgic. I would have to give it probably like a 7 out of 10. Yeah, she's a bitch. Because I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really funny and really cute. Even the murder was adorable.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot how they got caught. Oh, we didn't even talk about that.
No.
So Cole, or what's his name? Frankenstein?
Zombie? I don't know.
Mr. Frankenstein?
Sure.
I guess. Yeah, Mr. Frankenstein, I guess. His little burial place got, electrocuted, so he crawled out, and then he had a giant hole. So when they killed stepmom, they brought her body and threw it in his empty hole, because why are we going to dig a new hole when there's one right here? And then when they killed, Grabby Hands, they threw him in the same hole. So then I guess they're having their little, conversation, like, oh my God, you love me, at his grave. And the cops show up. And at this point, he's looking more and more human every day. So he doesn't look zombified anymore. He can't talk, and he doesn't have his man bits or a tongue. But, she does all the talking in the conversation anyways. So a cop shows up, because I guess they found the bodies. And they're like, that's when you realize there's crime tape all around.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, you kids can't be here. This is an active crime scene. And then, Mr. Frankenstein grabs her and just doesn't even kill her, just dumps her in the hole. It's like, oh yeah, nobody's going to find her. Yeah. But then they run back to the house, and they do it because they know she doesn't want to die a virgin. Mm-hmm. And 2, the jig is up. They're going to come back to them or her. So that's when she decides, after they do it, okay, it's time to die. And
she gets cooked in the tanning bed.
Yeah. So it gives you little shocks, but that's why they turned it all the way up, and she bursts into flames. And then at the end, the cops show up, and the firemen, they turn out the fire. So our ending ends when they go and visit her grave. Her dad and her stepsister. And when she's laying down the roses, her last name is Swallows.
Yeah, which is rude.
Lisa Swallows. And when she puts down the roses, she notices something, but we don't know what it is. And then as they leave to go to Mom's grave, they say, and wife.
Yeah, beloved wife.
Beloved wife, because apparently they got married with those little orange circle gummy candies, which is like ridiculous. So then the movie ends, but it doesn't really end. This is where the epilogue is. Cole is now reciting Shakespeare.
As one does.
Or maybe, you know what would have made more sense if he was reading, what's his name? The Quote the Raven Nevermore. Edgar Allan Poe. It would make more sense if you were reading Edgar Allan Poe. So anyways, you see him, sprawled out on this.
I figured he was reading her poetry.
Oh, quite possibly.
She
it wasn't poetry. A book.
Oh.
Who knows? He's definitely reading. And then as the camera comes around the bench, you see that there is a burn
Yeah.
patient all wrapped up.
She looks like a mummy.
She does. She has her hat on. She has her cute little dress over her bandages. And you're like, oh, so he figured out a way to bring her dead body back alive.
Yeah.
And then it ends with her opening her eyes.
Yeah.
Very Bella.
Yes. So Bella.
So Bella. But yeah, I wouldn't mind a part 2.
Right.
Actually, I think part 2 might be even more interesting.
It should be set in the 90s.
Oh, no, I want more 80s fashion. But yeah, fine. I guess. No, let's keep it 80s.
Yeah.
Anywho.
It was a blast from the
past.
I enjoyed it. Well, is there anything else you have to say about it?
No.
Me neither. Well, guys, stay tuned. Who knows what we might find for next time. And you can find us on all of our socials at Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. Bye.
Toodles.
This episode was produced by Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. Music was produced by Michael Giovanni. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to be a part of the show, have a movie suggestion, or just want to give us some love, you can email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Toodles.